Lockdowns are back on the table. Here we are at the end of 2023, and we're discussing lockdowns yet again. Now, first off, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Will you stand for this? Because I got a feeling that there's going to be a lot of people that are unhappy with what is coming out. And take a look. It's not for what you think. It's no longer for COVID lockdowns. Take a look at this. Biden is getting pressure to enact COVID-like lockdowns for climate change. Wow. And wait till you see this. They're saying all the extreme weather, all the pollution, all these things that are happening. We need to have lockdowns yet again to stop all of this. Now, you will recall that when we had the lockdowns before, that they said the environment drastically changed during that time period. Take a look. Venice canals run clear. Dolphins appear in Italy's waterway amid coronavirus lockdowns. COVID-19 lockdowns cause global air pollution to decline. The impacts of COVID-19 lockdowns on global air quality, they're saying, was amazing. This directly from the National Library of Medicine. And as you'll recall, animals roamed free during the lockdown time. What COVID lockdown data tells us about wildlife behavior, as they're saying, it would be good to lock down human society yet again for our environment and our animals and all of these things. And they're saying, what if President Joe Biden were to step up and declare a national state of emergency for the climate and do an executive order saying we need to shut down? And they're saying this is the direction that he is getting pressure to go from members of Congress. And they're saying it's time to do it because the signs are all around us. Take a look at this. Wildfires, hurricanes, and heat. The U.S. is getting hit by extreme weather from all sides. Maui wildfires take place. 850 people are missing after the Maui wildfires, the mayor says. They said it was the greatest fire that our nation has seen in our lifetime. And Tropical Storm Hillary, a hurricane-like storm, hits California desert roads covered in water and mud, and now it's threatening Oregon and Idaho as well. And here in Texas, as you know, we're experiencing a drought and extreme heat, and they're saying that all of this is as a result of climate change. And wait till you see this article, as they're saying President Joe Biden should issue a state of emergency and enforce lockdowns to help combat climate change. And again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Wow. Now, I'm going to share with you the latest on this article that just recently came out. And like I said, I think there will probably be a lot of pushback on this. And also, there's some other things that they're saying might be coming, and we will see, because they're talking about enacting this here very, very soon. So let's dive right in. If you appreciate the updates, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit subscribe to stay up to date. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on with our country, our economy, with Congress. And if you collect Social Security, stick around to the end, because I've got some more updates for you on that as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so link in the description below to this article that came out this month that says Biden is getting pressure to enact COVID-like lockdowns for climate change. Now, the article says that could President Joe Biden declare a climate emergency under the National Emergencies Act, expanding the president's power to implement lockdown measures to address what UN Secretary Antonio Guterres said is causing the globe to boil? Well, President Donald Trump used the National Emergency Act in March of 2020 to address the COVID-19 pandemic. That this would be used for climate change, the media tells us, is just a conspiracy theory. This is what was reported about any federal bans on gas stoves as well, though. Since the government said that it wasn't going to ban gas stoves, fact checkers assured us that the government wasn't going to ban gas stoves. Well, turns out that was not really true. We learned through the COVID experience that the distance between something being labeled as a conspiracy theory and the Biden administration is about 90 days, said Tim Stewart, president of the U.S. Oil and Gas Association. Now listen to this. In February of 2021, a bill co-sponsored by Representative AOC was to require the president to declare a national climate emergency under the National Emergencies Act, and it was introduced in the U.S. House. In 2021, leading advisors to the World Economic Forum, or the WEF, Yuval Noah Harari, had proposed stopping all airlines and locking down entire countries as a means to make people more open to radical ideas about how to deal with climate change. In February of 2022, the Center for Biological Diversity published a roadmap for using the National Emergencies Act to, among other things, restrict international trade and halt all private investments in fossil fuels. Most recently, the Los Angeles Times suggested that we should live with the occasional blackouts, as it would be an acceptable inconvenience to fight climate change, even though a Los Angeles energy official said that someone dies every single time that we have power outages. Now, pandemic parallels. Listen to this. While some have called for Biden to do so, the president hasn't said that he's considering using the National Emergency Act to fight climate change as of yet. There are, however, many parallels to the national dialogue on the pandemic and climate change. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think we're going to be going this route, especially with all of this extreme weather? And they're saying that we took a step forward in the fight against pollution and climate change when we had lockdowns. Beside drastic actions to address the problem with little scrutiny if they'll actually work, people who challenge the directives are said to be killing people. What was most concerning to all of us was how those presidential emergency powers were extended down to the state and local levels, giving local authorities unfettered power to control everything that we did, Stewart said. In the same way, governors and mayors shut down gyms. They could stop you from driving as well, Stewart said. Now, Representative Krister Knapp said that he wouldn't put it past the Biden administration to try something like a national climate emergency declaration. And a lot of people are saying, what if they did this? What if there was an executive order that said, you have to lock down to help combat climate change? I think everything is always on the table with them, Knapp said. Of course, if the president were seriously considering such actions, the directives would face extensive political opposition and legal challenges, not to mention, I think society itself would be in opposition to this. Let me know your thoughts. I'm not entirely sure, though. Knapp said that hasn't stopped the Biden administration in the past from doing this. These include the EPA's Clean Air Act and Clean Water Act. The U.S. Supreme Court decided that the EPA, under the Clean Air Act, did not have the authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions, and the High Court also sided against the EPA on the Clean Water Act over what waters were subject to federal jurisdiction. Though the courts shot down the federal overreach, Knapp said the rules still are acted upon while the legal challenges wind through the court system. It's an interesting strategy, Knapp said. Now, Stewart said that whatever impacts result from climate change, they would be nothing compared to the elimination of fossil fuels, which are the ingredient or compound in 6,000 consumer products. The cost of eliminating fossil fuels can't be put into monetary terms. It needs to be put into historical terms. Eliminate fossil fuels, and we will be partying like it's 1699, he said. Stewart said that climate alarmists is Marxism repackaged for a new generation. Marxism is about mobilizing workers, but the use of fossil fuels creates such a high standard of living for the developed world that the workers have a pretty comfortable life. So Marxism must change their appeal, he said. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, is this conspiracy theory, or do you think that they're actually going to be going this route? And we saw that there actually was legislation presented in the House of Representatives by AOC saying that this should be done. And with all the extreme weather that's taking place, do you think that something needs to be done here? Is this too extreme? What are the solutions? What are the answers? Let me know your thoughts. I don't know if we even have any, but man, if this happens, I think that there would be some pushback. And if we had lockdowns, that would devastate small businesses, the economy yet again. And there would probably have to be stimulus checks if we had climate change lockdowns, because that would definitely impact the global economy. Now, in addition to that, if you want the latest on stimulus checks and Social Security increases, which we're hearing a lot about lately, check out these videos next, and I will keep you up to date on everything. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll keep you up to speed as more information rolls out. Thanks again for joining me. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.